Hey friends, so I wanted to take this opportunity. I think I'm going to sort of make this a live podcast, if you will. So I'm going to take the recording of this and put it on the podcast that I've been putting out on sort of a weekly basis. But I wanted to go live here because I'm really excited. I hit a pretty big milestone today. Hit 100,000 followers on Instagram. Hey there. So I wanted to actually talk about something totally different than normal. So I know a lot of you are familiar with a lot of the things I talk about being a partner, trying to take on more of the domestic labor around the house. But I actually wanted to talk about content creation. And one of the things that I think made a huge difference in the past about 120 days, actually probably started in October. So I wanted to share with you a little bit of the story of how I got specifically here and how I think it's a mixture of really good luck and a mixture of like long-term, like pounding sand kind of grit. So I just want to share the story of sort of my content creator journey and how I got to here. So it kind of started back in 2016. I wrote this book and I knew I wanted to create marketing for it, but didn't know what to do. So I was a teacher at the time, and one of the things that I wanted to do was continue making a difference for my students. So the book itself is like 104 ideas that changed my life. And so I figured I would just make like a video for each chapter, and it would be a good way to sell it. It would be a good way to also like share a lot of things that excite me and that I think make my life, a happy experience, and share that with my students. So I started making YouTube videos. If you look up Zachary Watson, my whole name, on YouTube, you can find that channel. And there's probably a couple hundred videos on there, maybe 200-300. And I made a lot of them. And I realized at one point that I wanted to rebrand. I wanted to get a little bit away from my name and be a little bit more generic so that it could be more of a brand instead of just me. So I made the YouTube channel ThinkShare. This was in 2017. Made that, had my first, I'll argue, viral video was like 85,000 views. Most of them didn't crack 1,000. Was my reaction to the Patriots losing the Super Bowl. That was when I understood watch time for the first time. And so I started making longer videos, trying to make them more engaging. So that was in February of 2018. So it was a good, my promise to myself was to make a video every single day on YouTube for at least a whole year. And so it was about halfway through the year when I had that first pretty good video. And then I started talking a little bit more about some of the things in my classroom. One of them was a pride flag, and that video also did very well on YouTube. That was the first time I really experienced the hatred that exists on the internet for gay people. And it was saddening. It was like skin toughening. But it was a lot to take in, a lot of the upset that exists in the world. So that was 2018. I kept making videos. Honestly, at some point, so a lot of you don't know this, my wife and I actually went through a separation back in 2018. And a huge reason for that was we just bought a new house. We wanted to do a lot of renovations on it. We still have the house. We're in a new one now, but we wanted to do a lot of renovations on it, and I was putting a lot of my YouTube content creation first. And because I was putting that first over a lot of the needs of the house, problems started happening, and I was not giving the promises that I gave to working on the house. I was not giving the promises of, attention and empathetic nourishment to Alyssa. And so in 2018, I really struggled to juggle it because I was so ambitious, I think, that I was like burning out, but also like lighting other parts of my life on fire, and I didn't realize it. And I think with a couple, like I had just hit like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I thought I was hot shit, and my ego was out of control. It was so dumb. And then after the separation, I made a couple videos here and there, but I really didn't make anything unless I was really excited about it. And so I made like a couple music videos, but for the most part didn't make a whole lot for a good year. Probably made like 15, 20 videos for like the next year, 2018, 2019. It was fun making the music videos for sure. Then the pandemic hit, and I had to make a couple for my students. So I got back into it a little bit, but not that much. Some tutorial stuff, some nerdy like stuff. Did a couple more music videos just for fun, but like big effort ones. None of these like 3-minute, 10-minute videos just talking about nothing. And then as that year went on, so I ended up switching jobs. I got let go during the pandemic. Got signed to another school in 2 weeks, and ended up making a couple music videos with them too, and also made some tutorials for the students because they really appreciated that. I think they loved the fact that I existed on YouTube. And then 2021 hit, and I was like, damn, I really missed the boat on TikTok. I was like, fuck, there was so much opportunity that I missed in 2020. Like 2021, I'm gonna take TikTok seriously. Like I'm really gonna grow here. Instagram, still nothing. I probably had the first 800 followers that I got that were all my friends from like 2013. And so as I was building on TikTok in 2021, I just kind of ate shit for probably 300-ish videos. I think of my 300 first videos on TikTok, 2 of them broke the 1,000 or 2,000 barrier, and hit like 40,000 and 20,000, but for the most part everything was under 300. And then I started talking about being a dad and my experience being a dad, and sort of the vulnerabilities of talking about like it freaks me out that I don't feel this emotional bond that I wish I had with my child. And I started talking about that. I started talking about like being on paternity leave, what it was like, what I was learning, how I was changing, and people loved that. And I felt like I was doing good in the world. So TikTok started going well. September, so it was like 2-3 weeks into being a dad, started getting a lot of attention, especially because I started live streaming every night because I get really bored and lonely. From 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. I took the midnight shift with Everly. So mom really wanted to breastfeed. She was struggling. We were struggling. She would pump, give me milk. I would give it to her, but try to make it last as long as I could so that she, like, until she would have to pump again. And I would try to get Alyssa like 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep altogether at best. But from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m., I was trying to be with Everly while she rested. And that was like the first 2 months of paternity leave. And so I was often live streaming for a good hour, sometimes 2 hours in those wee hours because I was so bored and lonely. And so I bonded with people on TikTok. And then, then things cooled off, but I think I was at about 70,000 on TikTok around then. And then in the spring, my Instagram actually got phished. So for those that don't know, so you'll notice that my handle is called Real Zach Thinkshare. So Zach Thinkshare is actually my old account that got phished. I'm hoping they don't discover that this exists because I'm afraid they're going to start trying to phish people. So that's frightening, but I'm hoping maybe now that I have this that I can get Instagram to like actually take me seriously and like get rid of that old account or give it back to me and put it on a different email or something. still kind of upset because I used to have like old DMs from like students and stuff reaching out after graduation. Like I literally have when I got engaged to Alyssa on there, like really old pictures that I wish I had control over again, but it is what it is. So it wasn't until I think it was October. So I had a long dry streak. I think I was at about 80,000 on TikTok for 9-10 months. I didn't grow at all. I went up and down 100 followers maybe on TikTok. And in that time, my friend Frank, who I wanted him to come on tonight, he might come on with me tomorrow night. He's like, okay, Zach, like I'll take TikTok seriously. Let's do it. So we started doing 3 posts a day. We did that the beginning of October. We did it, I think, all the way through most of November. I think I might have missed 1 or 2 videos out of, that would have been, let's see, 3, that's 90, that's 180 videos in 2 months. I think I missed 2. And it was December like 5th or something, I think it was, that like really hit. I had my next biggest viral video on TikTok. And I realized at that point, I was like, shit, I think they're having more news articles about how TikTok, they're trying to get it banned in the US. So I started putting things on Instagram, and I got really lucky. I think I was having the success on TikTok, and all of a sudden, the same thing was happening over in Instagram. Just the same couple of videos were doing really, really well. Me talking about mental load. So December 1st, 2022, I had 900 followers here. So it's been a rapid growth 4 months for me here. And even, so that's why I said at the beginning, it's a mix of luck and grit, where I think because I kept grinding since 2016 at this, and just getting familiar with platforms, having creative ideas, executing on stuff, continuously practicing not being afraid of the camera and just getting in front of the camera and putting shit out there. Like, I think that's what it is to be a content creator, is consistently changing your message, identifying what's resonating, what's making a difference, getting comfortable with the tools so that when your moment hits, you can make it hit hard. And so I think that's kind of what happened, is I set myself up so when luck happened, I was able to take full advantage of it, because I think there's a lot of people that luck happens to them and it's a flash in the pan. It's like they're not able to take advantage of it. And one of the other things that was really cool that, I'll say on here, if you guys are interested, send me a DM titled Accountability Group if you are interested in being a content creator with better frequency and consistency. So I know that most of last year I failed to do daily videos, most of the year. And it wasn't until I put literal money on the line. So me and Frank, when we were doing 3 a day, we'd put $10 on the line for every video. So at the end of the week, we would say, all right, I owe 21 videos, you owe 21 videos. For every video I don't do, I'll send you $10, and vice versa. And I think I've received maybe 60 total dollars, and I've given 20 or 30 maybe. So like that, losing money from your pocket is a huge incentive to not be afraid of the camera, because most people are, at least myself, I'm more worried about losing money in my wallet than like than being judged by people on camera. So that was a huge motivator for me. That made a huge difference, and that was what got me the momentum that got me back onto Instagram and creating here. But yeah, I've definitely had a good deal of luck. I would say the last 10,000 followers here came from a video from another guy that I just duetted, and I stated the fact that I learned so much from him, and a lot of y'all loved it. I'm glad I'm good. It was a really good message, but it's so funny how social media works. It's like so much of it is you got to be good with the tools. You got to know how to do good storytelling, which I'm still working on, but half of it is just showing up and putting shit out there and seeing what sticks to the wall. I can't tell you. I mean, I would say at least half the people that have found me just because I've decided to duet one more because I promised I would, not because I think it's earth-shattering and it's a worthwhile video to put out there, but because I promised I would. So again, for anyone that is a content creator, wants to improve their consistency, that wants to grow and have milestones like this, hit me up and put like the first thing I want to be able to see so I can see it past it. I probably get about 5-10 DMs a day, which I'm slowly getting buried in. I think I have about 90 unread ones. Put accountability group. You do have to pay to be in it. So there is some skin in the game, which I think breeds the right people for the group. You want people that are paid to be in there. It's not all that expensive. $200 for a 60-day group. But there have been multiple other creators that I've worked with that have had some pretty awesome growth and just needed to have that first 60 days forcing themselves in front of the camera. So it worked for me. It helped me get better at and just put things out there because I promised I would. For people that are interested in improving, that's my offer. That's all I got there. Well, I'm going to sort of end it here. Thank you again for joining me. It feels pretty rare that I like talking about the journey of content creation on here because I don't talk about the content creation of it all, but it's definitely a huge part of my life. If you know me personally rather than just following my content, I talk about content creation a lot. I don't just talk about mental load and being a parent and being a partner at home. I will talk anyone's ear off about making content. It's so much fun to me, and I love seeing people break past the things that stop them from being self-expressed. So I will upload this as my 3rd podcast episode. If people are interested in the first 2, it's in my Stan store. It's one of the links in there for free. I started a podcast some years ago and decided to pick it up again because my friend Frank, he's a good dude. All right, folks. Thank you for celebrating with me. I don't know that I've seen a single comment in here. It's just people joining and falling off. But I'm going to scan it real quick to see if there were any comments or questions. But again, thank you for celebrating with me. This is super affirming that this has been it's been a hell of a journey. 100,000. I'm almost egotistical enough to buy one of those little Etsy plaques for my room, just because I am insecure enough to want the external validation that I accomplished something. It's embarrassing to say out loud, damn. All right. Thank you. I'm signing off.